This is Radio Nepal. I'm Kaushal Ghimire with the news. The headlines first. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda pledges to make transitional justice-related laws on political consensus, keeping victims in centre. Nepal organises high-level investment conference in UK. Finance Minister Dr. Prakash Charan Mahat urges British investors to invest in Nepal. More than 800,000 tourists visit Nepal in first 10 months of the year 2023. And more than 400 people, mostly foreign nationals, leave Gaza as Rafah crossing to Egypt opens to civilians for the first time in more than 3 weeks. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has said the laws related to transitional justice would be made soon on the basis of political consensus and by keeping the victims in centre. Talking to media persons at a tea reception organised by CPN-UML at the party headquarters in Chasal of Lalitpur yesterday, Prime Minister Dahal shared that discussion with leaders of major political parties on this issue had moved ahead in a positive way. The Prime Minister also mentioned that he discussed with CPN-UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli and Nepali Congress President Sherbhadra Dewa regarding the matter recently. Similarly, chairperson of Rashtriya Swatantra Party Rabi Lamechhane mentioned that political parties should be serious towards the country's current situation. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dahal said the country's economy was still under pressure, though it was freed from an imminent crisis. Addressing a meeting of the party central members in Kathmandu Valley at the party central office in Peristara yesterday, the Prime Minister said liberating economy from pressure remained as one of the top priorities of the government. He said preparations had been made for organising a national-level roundtable to seek ways for improving the economy. Finance Minister Dr. Prakash Charan Mahat has said Nepal requires sufficient financial resources for its economic prosperity and transformation. In his address to a high-level investment conference organised by the Nepal Embassy in London, Finance Minister Dr. Mahat highlighted the essentiality for foreign investment, as such need could not be solely addressed by internal resources. According to the Finance Minister's Secretariat and Nepal's Embassy in the United Kingdom, Finance Minister Dr. Mahat urged the British investors to invest in Nepal and reap benefits. The event, organised at the Mansion House based in the City of London, marks the completion of a centenary of the signing of the Friendship Treaty between Nepal and the United Kingdom in the year 1923. Foreign Affairs Minister N.P. South and Senator Chris Van Hollen, who is also a member of the U.S. Senate Foreign Affairs and Appropriations Committee, have met in Washington, D.C. In the meeting, bilateral relations were discussed. In addition, there was also a discussion on the exchange of experience between parliaments of Nepal and the United States. Senator Holland had visited Nepal last September. Similarly, Minister for Foreign Affairs N.P. South, who is on an official visit to the United States, held a meeting with the administrator of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, Samantha Power. On the occasion, they discussed the matters related to the USAID's ongoing programs aligning with the development priorities of Nepal and their effectiveness. Administrator Power expressed the U.S. government's commitment to support Nepal towards advancing progress in democratic process and building strong relations. Minister South extended gratitude to the USAID for its long-standing support to Nepal's efforts for economic and social development. Meanwhile, Minister South also met with Chief Executive Officer of the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, Scott Nathan, on Tuesday. On the occasion, they discussed the matters related to corporation's investment in Nepal. Minister Saud highlighted government strategies for the promotion of private sector investment in Nepal and urged CEO Nathan for increasing investment flow to Nepal through the corporation. President Ramchandra Paurel has said there are numerous mountains in Nepal that have to be officially open for exploration. In his address to a ceremony to mark the 50th anniversary of Nepal Mountaineering Association yesterday, the president said it was imperative that immediate steps should be taken to unlock and showcase these hidden treasures from Nepal. On the occasion, the head of the state urged the government to make informed decisions regarding the management and promotion of these unexplored mountains. Nepal has seen a significant influx of tourists in the year 2023, with over 800,000 visitors arriving in the country within the first 10 months of the year. According to the Nepal Tourism Board, the total number of foreign tourists from January to October stands at an impressive 890,678. October alone saw an influx of 117,000 tourists entering Nepal via air travel. This figure marks a substantial increase from the 88,582 tourists recorded in the same month of the previous year. This surge in tourism is a positive sign for Nepal's economy and its tourism industry. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres left Kathmandu yesterday after wrapping up his 4-day official visit to Nepal. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defence Purna Bahadur Kharka bid him farewell at the VVIP lounge of the Tribhuvan International Airport yesterday. At the cordial invitation of Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda, the UN Secretary-General had arrived in Kathmandu on the 29th of October for his official visit to Nepal. You're listening to Radio Nepal's 8 a.m. English News Bulletin. Now on to some international update. More than 400 people have left Gaza as the Rafah crossing to Egypt opens to civilians for the first time in more than 3 weeks. 335 foreign passport holders and 76 injured Gazans have been able to leave so far, according to the Palestinian officials. British and U.S. passport holders are among those who have exited the territory. U.S. President Joe Biden has said the opening of the crossing is the result of intense and urgent diplomacy. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today. According to the Meteorological Forecasting Division, the weather will be partly cloudy to mainly fair throughout the country. With this, we have almost come to the end of this news bulletin. But before wrapping up, let's have the reminder of the headlines once again. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda pledges to make transitional justice-related laws on political consensus, keeping victims in centre. Nepal organizes high-level investment conference in the United Kingdom. Finance Minister Dr. Prakash Charan Mahat urges British investors to invest in Nepal. More than 800,000 tourists visit Nepal in the first 10 months of the year 2023. And more than 400 people, mostly foreign nationals, leave Gaza as Rafah crossing to Egypt opens to civilians for the first time in more than 3 weeks. Well, that's all the news we have for this bulletin. Our next bulletin in English will be at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.onlineradionepal.gov.np. Keep listening to Radio Nepal and have a good day.